everyone, my name is Siddhi and in today's video, I'm going to review The House of Hades by Rick Riordan. And this book is, I think it's the fourth book in the Heroes of Olympus series. So yes, we are kind of nearing the end of this whole series right now. The last video will come out soon, but for now just enjoy this review. So this book took me a really long while to read. It'll probably make you cry a little bit. And I think that this book took me a very long while to read because of the length of it. As you can see, it is just really fat and it is like 600 pages or something like that, and that is just very long. And I just love this cover, and this is actually not the cover that you get in India, but I somehow just got it on Amazon for a very cheap price. It might be available for the same price right now, but anyways, that's not what we're supposed to be talking about in today's video. Now let's get into the review. So this book is like the most emotional book from all of the Heroes of Olympus books, because it will probably make you cry quite a bit. So after the cliffhanger that the last book, the Mark of Athena, leaves, I was just so excited to read this book. This book starts out with Hazel, who is on a crossroads, and she meets the goddess Hecate or Hecate, however you like to say it.
Hecate is how it's usually pronounced when you talk about the ancient Greek goddess.
Hecate is the goddess of magic, who asks her which way she likes to go. So Hazel has a few options to choose from, where the Argo 2 will go further ahead, and she chooses the hardest one, which is to go to the House of Hades. That is what the first chapter is about. After the first chapter, we start with the second chapter, and that is when we start to catch up with Percy and Annabeth. They are falling into the pit of Tartarus, and that was quite sad. But in this book, it actually turns out that it was a good thing that they ended up in Tartarus, because they had to close the doors from both of the sides. So this book starts off by continuing with the Mark of Athena. So in the Mark of Athena, Arachne just falls into the pit of Tartarus, but she just threw one of her those strands that spiders make, like Spider-Man, at Annabeth's leg, and she just pulled Annabeth into the pit of Tartarus. And Percy didn't want to let Annabeth go, so he just came with her. And to be honest, I don't think that Annabeth would have been able to survive in Tartarus without Percy, because Annabeth just doesn't have any of those extra powers. She's just alone with her wits, and she's just so smart, and it just makes me feel like I can even do that, because she doesn't even have any very very strong godly powers or something like that. Like Hazel can pull rubies and diamonds out of the ground, which is pretty cool, and she can even make changes to the mist, as you will see in the House of Hades. And Frank can shapeshift. Percy is able to have his control over water. Jason is able to have his control over the sky and make rain happen and stuff like that happen. It's just really cool. They're all like Superman, but Annabeth is the only one who just doesn't have very strong powers or something like that. She's just alone with her wits and her brain and her smartness and all that. And it really makes me feel like even I could do stuff what happens in this book, but I cannot do that. So Percy and Annabeth somehow just try to survive in the pit of Tartarus. Vampire ladies who are just trying to kill them. But then Percy calls this titan named Bob. And I actually did not know the story of Bob, because it was like a side story. It wasn't a part of the Lost Hero, or it wasn't even a part of the Last Olympian. It was just its own side story. And there are these vampire ladies who are just trying to kill them, but this titan named Bob comes to rescue them out of that situation. And titans are just super strong. So Bob is this titan who Percy removed the memory of. So Bob was actually a titan who Percy fought, and he threw him into this river that removes your memory. And when he came out of that river, he he just didn't knew who he was. He didn't knew that he was a Titan anymore. And then he asked his name to Percy, and Percy said that your name is Bob. So that is how his name got Bob. And I don't even think that Percy and Annabeth would have been able to survive through Tartarus without the help of Bob. And on their way, they meet this giant named Damson, I think. So they, on their way in through Tartarus, they meet Damson, who is this giant who was supposed to fight Ares or Mars. Ares is the god of war, but actually the thing is that Damson wasn't like very like war-like kind of monster, like what most monsters are like. He was a very pleasant, like kind of very nice monster. So his parents were Tartarus and Gaia. They were quite disappointed with him, and he was like this very peaceful giant who really wasn't very warlike. He didn't like to destroy stuff. He just liked to be peaceful. But his parents were very disappointed with him. So they just one day opened up the ground and pulled Damson into the pits of Tartarus. And that was the story of Damson. And there were actually many parts in this book when Percy and Annabeth experienced very near-death experiences. So Percy, at one point, Percy was just about to die, but Damson saved him. And Annabeth once turned blind. And this book was pretty much about Percy and Annabeth because they are the only people who are in Tartarus. And actually Percy and Annabeth many times say in this book that they are the only people who came out alive out of Tartarus, but that isn't actually true. Nico came out of Tartarus alive, and he was actually alone. He didn't even have Bob, and if it wasn't for Nico, Bob wouldn't have even came to save Percy and Annabeth, because Percy was this kind of person who just really liked his friends and was really loyal to them. And when he got to know that he forgot somebody, it just really hurt him. I just really enjoyed this book, and I think this is going to be my favorite book out of this whole series. And they're like dead corpses when they get out of Tartarus because the shock is just so much for them. So there is this elevator which you have to cross through if you want to reach the other side of Tartarus. So at the end, Reyna comes to the Argo 2. The Argo 2 is the ship that Percy and all of his demigod friends are traveling in. So Reyna comes to the Argo 2, and if you haven't read this book, Reyna is actually the praetor of the Roman Legion. So she came to the Argo 2 because she wanted to know. She wanted to help them out with taking the Athena Parthenos out of Rome and take it back to Camp Havlor to end the war which is going to happen between the Greeks and the Romans. And at the end of this book, Reyna and Nico and Coach Hedge leave to go to Camp Havlor in New York. And Nico actually has this ability called shadow traveling, so he could shadow travel because he was a son of Hades. They just shadow travel to Camp Havlor, and this is the book that this all continues in. The review of this book will be coming soon on this channel. So thanks for watching, guys. And by the way, thanks to all of you guys who watched my brother's video that blew up on YouTube. I'm just so weirded out by how popular I got. I mean, 1 lakh views. That is just crazy. And thanks for all of you guys who came to this channel after watching my brother's video. And I will be making more Photoshop videos soon, so stay tuned for that. And thanks for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to click on the like button and subscribe to my channel. Bye.